A little quick story from a couple days ago. It's about an hour before closing, and my mom was on the register while I was bagging. Yes, we work at the same store. My mom is about to pull her till and count it so she can leave. When she does this, I start preparing to fill any empty milk, egg, or bread shelves. Mom says the usual okay. I'm counting my drawer down, then I'll be going home. Love you. See you at home. A customer on the next register hears this and says something along the lines of those two shouldn't be working together if they live together, and he's still young. He could do so much better than an older woman. Her cashier, who I'm friends with, calls me over. She asks the woman to repeat what she just said, and the woman does so. Me, well, that's just your opinion, and I respect that, but that's my mom. She looks so embarrassed. She just finishes her transaction and leaves without saying anything else. Haven't seen the woman since. From my gas station days in 2013. About a year into working there, my station joined in several others to switch over to prepay-only pumps. I personally would see drive-offs a few times every time I worked, so I was happy to see the change. Customers, however, resisted the change as much as they could, from threatening to not get gas here anymore to get me to turn on the pump for them because our system still allowed it for semi-truck drivers that use special cards to pay. One day, a lady I never seen before, our Karen, pulls up to the pump, and grabs the nozzle, expecting me to turn on the pump for her. I announce over the speakers the same speech I've been giving everyone that won't read the prepay signs on the pumps, and continue to wait on other customers in my line. She ignores me at first, but hangs up the nozzle after a minute and makes her way into the store. I finish the customer between her and me, and she starts in at me about not letting her get gas outside. I politely tell her we're a prepay-only store now, and she'll have to put money into a pump before getting her gas. She seems confused at first, but we get through the transaction with her putting in $30 unleaded onto a debit card, and she heads out to pump her fuel. She doesn't put the whole $30 into her vehicle, and heads back in to speak to me. After I get the customers in between me and her, she wants the cash for the fuel she didn't use. Now, it's my bad for forgetting to tell her gas prepays on any card are automatically refunded once the nozzle is hung back up onto the pump. I tell her this, and I have no way to give her cash back from the transaction, mentioning it may take a day for the refund to appear on her bank statement. She gets mad, demanding I give her cash for the fuel. I repeat myself, apologizing for the misunderstanding, and say she still has the money, it's just on her card. She leaves the store, and I think I'm done with her. Nope. I continue on my work in between helping customers in the store for several minutes, and I look outside. A cop has pulled up to Karen's car and she's talking to him, occasionally pointing at the store, and I already see the headache coming. I tell my coworker to run register as the cop comes in, and he asks to speak to me. I greet him and ask what he needs. He informs me that Karen called the cops, saying we were refusing to give her her money back for the fuel while being really rude to her. I tell him what happened, how refunds for gas work, and if he wishes, he can come back with me to the cameras to watch the footage. He says that's okay, and he'll inform her of what actually happened. I don't see the cop and lady talk as a rush hits the store then, but one of my regulars saying that lady flipped me off after she got into her car so the cop wouldn't see her do it. I work as a cashier in a large chain grocery store. We also sell ice, located in a large freezer near the front of the store next to the registers. It was slowing down in the store, and I had some return items at my till that needed to go back. We can either bring the items to customer service and they will return them to shelf, or we can go return them directly. The item I had was located in a nearby aisle, so I decided to return it directly. Our large ice cooler is located at the end of this aisle, which is next to the registers. As we have been having a heat wave lately, our ice was sold out again today. As I turn up the aisle and past the ice cooler, I hear a woman close the cooler door and comment out loud, "Oh, there's no more ice." I continue walking, return the item to shelf, and as I turn around, the woman is standing directly behind me, blocking my way out of the aisle and glaring daggers directly into my eyes. Me, cashier. C, customer. C, did you just ignore me? Me, pardon? Did you need help with something? C, did you ignore me? Me, no, not intentionally. I was returning an item to the shelf. Sorry you had the impression I was ignoring you. See, there's no more ice in the cooler. Me, yes, we are all sold out of ice. Silence. She looks at me with a blank look and does not say anything else for seconds, seemingly unhappy with my answer. Me, we don't have any more ice. We are sold out. See, well, where am I supposed to get my ice from? Me, you could try, gas station across the street, they usually have some. More silence, still glaring at me. See, I came here to buy ice. Me, we do not have any ice in stock at this time. See, waves her hand at me and turns to leave. Don't be so rude. I really didn't think I sounded rude, and I was genuinely confused when she came up to me asking if I ignored her. She didn't address me directly at all before she confronted me, no hey, or excuse me to get my attention. Although I did hear her say, oh, there's no more ice, it sounded more like an observation out loud rather than asking an employee if there was more somewhere else. I just want to put a disclaimer that English is not my first language. So I work at a gas station and one day this old lady comes in and asks my coworker to tank the gas in her car for her because she doesn't know how to. He helps her and the whole time is very polite with her, and she mentions how for some reason everywhere she goes everybody gets mad at her. For example, today she didn't want to pay for parking and the parking workers didn't let her leave until she paid for her parking ticket. Then after they both come inside and she asks me how much she has to pay. And I tell her the price, let's say 160 euros. She looks around her wallet a little bit and is like, oh, I guess I don't have enough money ... Well, I come here all the time, I'll bring it next time. And both me and my coworker look at each other and I ask her how much does she have and she says 120 euros. I tell her politely, okay, so you go home, get the money and get back here in about 1 hour max, we don't have to call the police, just be here as soon as you can and all good. She is like offended that I'm asking her to go back home and then come all the way back here, and she starts saying how she doesn't wanna drive home and then back here for 40 euros. BTW, her home was about 10-minute drive from the gas station, and I'm like, ma'am, we work until 2 p.m. if you don't bring money until then we have to pay those 40 euros that she didn't have. At this point she is shocked that I'm asking her to actually pay for that even though she is our regular customer. She also mentioned that she is from a wealthy family and that her brother is a lawyer or something like that and that we should treat her more nicely. When she said that, I was already so fucking annoyed and shocked at the same time that I'm having this conversation with a grown woman. Then she went on about how we were insensitive and cheap for not wanting to pay for those 40 euros that she didn't have, and let me just make it clear that this lady had a nice car and you could see that she wasn't poor. Eventually when we mentioned police, another 100 euros appeared in her bag and she was able to pay, but before leaving she said that I was a horrible person and said something along the lines, no wonder you work at a gas station. I love my job. This is a bit of a weird story, so listen up, please. This happened to me just last week and I can't forget about it. It was a moment of weirdness and dumbness. I work at a popular clothing store with a short name, and in that store, just like any store, we have set prices and sometimes those clothes go on sale. I was working on the register at the time and it was not busy, so I was cleaning and hanging up clothes to run when she came along. I set up the register and was ready to ring her up. Me, hello, I can ring you up right here. She walked up and set the jacket on the counter. Her, so I was wondering about the price of this jacket, do you think you could check it for me? At my store, we didn't have any price checkers anywhere around the store, so this was not a weird request at all. Me, of course. Let me check. It rang up as $20.99, it used to be $50. Me, so this jacket is $20.99. Her, oh, well, I can only $15 for it. Is that okay? Me, I'm sorry? Her, I can only buy this jacket for $15. It's not like anyone wanted it and it's summer, so nobody is gonna buy it. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, the price here is set and we don't allow haggling. Her, can I have a manager here? This is when I knew I was in it for the long run. I radioed my manager and he came very quickly. Manager, hello ma'am, is there a problem? Her, yes, your employee won't let me haggle the price down. Manager, I'm sorry? We don't allow haggling here. If anything, she did the right thing. Her, well fine, I won't be shopping here anymore. Me, have a good day. Manager, radio me if she comes back. Good job. That was my story for this subreddit. I have more if y'all want it. I know it was short, but I had to tell someone about it lol. Thanks for reading my story. A few weeks ago he had a customer leave their credit card in my shop by accident. They phoned to check it was there, but they had already left town by that point, so they asked us to send it to them. We did, registered post, so we got confirmation of a signature, and disguised inside a parcel so that it wasn't obvious what was being sent. This morning we got a parcel back. A lovely handwritten thank you note with a book from my favorite author, that had come up in conversation when they were in the shop. Just a little note that I work in a very small shop that my husband and I run, so I didn't need to check with the boss about policy or anything.